My name's Emma Jackson, but I was formerly Emma Harrison. I was in Toyama Ken from 2000 to 2001 and stayed in Sunshine Hachiyu Hachi. I have really fond memories of that year in Japan. And after Japan, I reunited with my husband, who wasn't my husband then, and we went travelling around Australia and New Zealand, and then we went through part of Europe as well on the way home and came back to Scotland. Lived in Edinburgh for quite a long time and then moved out to Stirling. I'm an English teacher. I work in a secondary school in the Trossachs National Park, which is about half an hour out of Stirling. It's very beautiful, very kind of wild, and lots of walks and kind of canoes and things like that, stuff to do on the loch. I've got 2 children. I've got Ailey, she's 9, and I've got Lewis, who is 3. So we're quite busy. And I've got really fond memories of Japan. I've got some Japanese friends in Edinburgh. We still eat a lot of Japanese food. Here I've got pictures on the wall, etc. So I hope that everyone's staying safe in these quite strange times, and that you're managing to spend lots of time with your families and do some fun things at least. Okay, bye.
Minasan, konnichiwa. Thank you very much to Matt for putting together this compilation. It's great to reconnect with everyone from 20 years ago. I was in Toyama. I was in Kureha Junior High School for 1 year from 2000 to 2001. I remember flying out business class, and after that I decided to go into a lifetime of TEFL, so it was the last time I've ever flown business class. That was nice. Since then I've been working in different countries, doing teaching, materials writing, teacher training. About 8 years ago I did a project in northern Thailand and decided to settle down there with my partner, and since then I've been freelancing, doing short projects around the world. So this isn't Thailand, this is Switzerland. Earlier this year I came out to do a foundation course in an international school here, and then COVID-19 happened and I've been stuck here ever since. So I'm strolling around the Alps, bird watching, growing my hair, and looking forward to the time that flights start up so that I can get home. Would be lovely to meet you all face to face, and I hope to enjoy more of your messages. All the best, all of you.
My goodness, how can it be 20 years? We're all so old. God, I feel stupid doing this. What shall I say then? Yeah, so I think you know who I am, although I don't know where this video is going. So I'm Catherine. I was in Toyama from 2000 to 2002 and had a brilliant time, made lifelong friends who I am still in touch with fairly regularly. What shall I say? I was ALT at Toyama Girls High School just as it was transitioning over to mixed sex. I came back in 2002, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and faffed about for a couple of years, trained to be a modern languages teacher. So did that with big ones, and now I'm doing it with little ones, and still don't know what I want to do with my life. Been back to Japan twice, which was good. and didn't have to pay for it because it was with the school exchange program, so that was really good. Would love to go back someday with the family, but I think I'll wait till my kids are a bit older. So I've got two. I've got Isabel, who's 7, and Thea, who's 3. And I got married in 2011 in Italy, randomly. And yeah, lockdown sucks, really. So hopefully we can have a proper reunion next year. That would be so good. I think we should all definitely get that in the diaries. Matt, you need to sort it out. So yeah, don't really know what else to say. I'll say matane.
Hi, this is Dr. Ryan Feddersen Poindexter. I was Ryan Poindexter 20 years ago when I went to Toyama. I lived in Takaoka and worked at Takaoka Koge Koko. Now I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Wonderful place, despite the news you hear these days. And I live with my wonderful, huge, crazy family. Let me just start by introducing everybody. Over here, we have my beautiful wife, Dawn. Hi. My daughter, Chloe.
Hi.
My daughter, Matilda.
Hi.
My son, Caleb.
Hi.
My son, Beckett. And we have 3 foster kids right now. We have Aubrey, Alicia, and Ella. And Ella. So you don't have to memorize all those names. We just have a lot of people in our house right now, and it's quarantine time, so we're all here all the time. It's great. So I absolutely loved my time on JET. I loved the people that I met there, the students that I taught. I loved the other JETs, my friends that I met there. I want to go back to Japan and take my family. It's going to be a lot to take my family there, so I have no plans to go anytime soon. I, like I said, live in Minneapolis. I'm what's called a surgical neurophysiologist, which means I help keep people safe, and I really love what I do. Keeps me busy. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope this video reaches you. And if you're ever in Minnesota or Minneapolis, give me a call. Bye.
Hi there, my name Thảo Nguyễn. I live in Stoke-on-Trent in England now. In 20 years ago, I went to Japan and work and live in Toyama, Ken, called Oshawa. I'm from Vietnam, so in that time I'm about 24 years old, and I met my man. This is named Matthew Poyton. So soon I work in Japan. I'm working like a factory to check all the product about for a hospital, and I met a lot of friends in Toyama, Kent. So I really miss them. So now, because 20 years now for memory, so I just sent some video to miss them all. And now soon I can finish work in Japan about year 2002. I came back to Vietnam and I work like industrial sewing machine to import and export department. And 2004 I married, and 2005 I came to England and live. So at the moment I work in Thai massage therapy in Stoke-on-Trent. So I got a shop, so if anybody interested to have to fix the problem, back pain, shoulder pain, got anything problem with the health like physiotherapy, just contact me. With my experience in Japan, I enjoy and love in Japan. Beautiful and respectful with Japanese people, and I love food in there. Special with yakitori, udon, gammon, pork gammon. The best food I love is the soya gammon. That's the best one I love. And the best place I love is everywhere I went to onsen with Matthew Poyton. It is onsen, called onsen, that means steam room. In hotel, in mountain, and everywhere. That's the best one I love. I wish I come back in Japan soon. After 20 years ago, I didn't been there. Bye bye. See you soon, guys.
慎吾ママ娘の飯田です。慎吾ママ娘のナッチです。
慎吾ママです。ねえねえねえ、商店街を盛り上げるにはどうしたらいいの？
教えてほしかったら私たちに勝たないとダメー。
オッケー、じゃあミュージックスタート。
Ohayo gozaimasu. Say it again, son. Good morning, this is Kai, and I'm Damien Brunso, formerly Damien Sutu, who was the jet in Yatsuo Machi in Toyama. I loved my time in Japan. Since then, I came back to Manchester, moved down to London, joined London Fire Brigade, and then ended up transferring back to Manchester, where I'm now in charge of Mosley Fire Station. Best thing from Japan, the onsens. I went back in 2008. I had a brilliant time just touring all over Tokyo, Nagano, back to Toyama, back to Ishikawa and Wajima. I've stayed in touch with a few people, notably some of the Americans that I knew in Ishikawa, as well as lots of people in Toyama. And yeah, I'm married with adopted son here now and pootling along in a very kind of steady kind of life, which is not how most people will remember me. Bye.
Hey lovely people, konnichiwa. My name is Hannah. I was based in Toyama City for 2 years. I worked for the main government educational office, and I was also out in 3 schools. One was a little secondary school up in the mountains. I also worked in a school that was connected to a hospital, and I worked in another school for disabled children, which was amazing. I absolutely loved my time in Japan. When I came back, I did my master's in creative writing. And whilst I studied for that, I actually taught Japanese at a secondary school over here. That was a few years ago now though, so I think most of my Japanese has probably gone out of my brain. I don't get the chance to use it too much. I do travel a lot for work. I stay in a lot of hotels, especially in London and other cities, so sometimes I hear some Japanese people and I get to use a few words, say hi to them in the lift and surprise them a little bit with my skills, but I don't think I know that many words anymore. So after I did my master's, I moved to London. I've been working in publishing and marketing since. I'm currently a senior marketing manager working in private healthcare, so I look after properties for my company, about 60, all around London and the south, which keeps me very, very busy, but I love it. So I still get to be creative, but I get to do a bit of business as well, so I quite like both. In my spare time, can often be found doing really ridiculous things, like hanging upside down from an aerial hoop, or doing stand-up paddleboarding, which is amazing. I love anything to do with water, so that keeps me happy. I love to travel still. I've not had a chance to go back to Japan yet. I love Japan, but there's just so many places in the world I want to see and go to, so past couple of years I've been to Nepal, I went to Mexico, went to India, went to Iceland, so
There's still a lot more on my list though, so I'm working my way around slowly. Yeah, I guess Japan was amazing, loved my time there. The one thing that I've taken away from that is karaoke. You can still often find me singing incredibly badly. I haven't improved, but I can often be found at various karaoke bars around Soho, which is a lot of fun. And I actually did my first live gig in Nepal. I got called up to sing with the band in a random Nepalese restaurant. So that was amazing. There is video footage. No one is ever going to see that video footage, so don't ask. But I hope you're all safe and well, and love from me. Bye.
Oha! My name's Matt Poynton, and I was in Osawa Machi from 2000 to 2002, and I was teaching there in 4 shogakos and 1 chugako, and I also helped out in the Yakuba. And I had a brilliant time in Japan. So after Japan, I left with the money that we were meant to use for a flight, and I went overland across Asia through Kazakhstan and China and Uzbekistan, and ended up in Bulgaria, where I lived and taught English as a foreign language in a school. And then I went to live in Vietnam, where I lived with and then married Tao, who you may remember was my girlfriend in Japan, and I believe she's somewhere else on this compilation video. We later went back to the UK, where we started a family, and our son Thomas is still here. He's holding the camera at the moment.
Hello!
And then in the UK, I carried on working in education. I worked in prisons for many years, about 8 years in total, again teaching English as a foreign language, and also as a trade union rep, where I was the bane of management. And then after that, I actually went into management and in the charity sector, and then I went to work for the trade union. And that's what I do today. I absolutely love my job, and I work for the TUC, which is the Trades Union Congress. It's like the body that oversees all the trade unions in the UK, and I'm their education guy, promoting learning across workplaces all over the country. Japan really affected my life. Obviously, I wouldn't have my son if it wasn't for Japan, and I would never have got married to the lady I got married to. So they're kind of big changes. It also set me off on an education career, which in many respects is a career I'm still doing. And in small ways as well. So the thing that Thomas is holding now, I still call a Keitai. I won't call it a mobile. So, and I still have a passion for karaoke. I love to sing karaoke, and actually that's moved on to me actually singing in choirs as well. So there's that. My main interests in life are creative writing. I've now got an MA in it, and I started doing that in and around when I was in Japan, and I've continued it ever since. And also travel, and of course travel is why I decided to go to Japan in the first place, and I've still continued with that. I've been to about 80 countries so far, and I like to go to those countries that are less visited. I haven't been back to Japan yet. I really do want to go, but the problem is there's so many countries in the world that I can never really justify going back to the ones I've been already. Although I have been in the vicinity. I was just across the water from Toyama in North Korea a couple of years ago. So that was great, and it was nice to be back in the Far East. And I would like to go back to Japan one day, perhaps to work again when Thomas is at uni. And so that's it. My Japan highlight has to be, though, onsen. I love onsen, and it's introduced me to a lifetime's obsession with bathing in thermal baths, and I've tried them all around the world, but none of them are as good as Japan. Korean onsen was good, Iceland is very good, but Japan is still the best for that. So I dream to be back in Rakukan onsen again. Okay, that's it for me. Hope you're all doing well, stay safe, and oha!
慎吾ママは料理上手美味しいご飯を作ろうきっとパパも大満足お出かけチュッチュしてくれる
Hi everybody, this is Julie Munoz Pittman coming at you from North Carolina, specifically Knightdale.
Don't know if you've ever heard of it. Most people haven't. I was at Okuda Junior High School in Toyama. It was a great place to work. I loved being there. I loved being in Toyama. It was a fantastic 2 years being there, getting to know all of you, making great friendships that to this day mean a whole lot to me. It was a fantastic 2 years, and it's I really think it changed me a lot for the better, I hope. Hopefully for all of you as well. I've gotten back to Toyama a couple of times since we all got home. Not as often as I would like. It's been a long time since I've been back. I've seen a few of you here recently. Well, if 5 years is recent. My husband and I went to visit England for our 10th anniversary 5 years ago. Got together with some folks over there. So it was nice to see you all again. Every now and then I get together with some folks here. So it's really nice to catch up with people every now and then, but I really wish we had been able to get together this year. It's too bad that the world all went to hell, but hopefully things will get better soon and we'll be able to get back together again. But in the meantime, I hope that you all cherish your memories of Toyama as much as I do. It was a great place. I learned a lot about myself, about the world, and I cherish those memories a lot. That experience really changed me for the better, I hope. And those friendships that I made there really shaped me a lot, changed the person that I became, and hopefully we'll all get together soon. Mata ne.
四角三角チラッとキラッとひらめいちゃえばいたずらがきの夢たちもキャンキャンキャンディースキップ動き出す
Hey guys, Tig Olinchik here. I used to be a jet ALT at Sakurai High School in Kurobe City from 2000 to 2002. After 2002, I left Japan and I went to London to do masters in environmental studies, and that's when I got plucked by Monash University in Australia. So in 2004, moved to Australia, where I did my doctoral studies, and I have been here ever since. Still here. I married my girlfriend from Uozu next door to Kurobe. We have been together 19 years now and married for 16 of those. We have a son, Rio. He's 14 years old, and a daughter, Akina, who's 10 years old. And I am a high school teacher. Best job ever. Best thing that influenced me? Well, Japan still influences me, of course, because I get to go back nearly every year to see the grandparents and all the friends in Kurobe, Uozu, and in Toyama. So all's good. I'm still connected to the region. Thank you.
Hello, fellow JET alumni. Hisashiburi. If you don't remember me, I'm Bekki Feeney. I was an ALT in Takaoka City from 2001 until 2004. Worked in 2 junior high schools, Nansei Chugako and Nakara Chugako. I then stayed on another 2 years to work in a few elementary schools in the city. I was taken on privately by the Board of Education. Had an amazing time in Japan and moved back to Scotland. Happily living up in Edinburgh now. I work in a zoo, so working with lots of fantastic animals, including this very, very big scary owl called Elmo. So hey, say hello, Elmo. And work generally with things like reptiles, various birds, doing the bird of prey shows, parrot shows, and some of our talks programs as well. So my skills at JET certainly have paid off, and love my job now as a zookeeper as well. Okay, so I have also been through some of my boxes of jet memorabilia from many, many years ago and found some goodies to show you. This is my Oishimizu Toyama football top. I was not really a player, I was a big fan. Enjoyed going up to Nagano for the amazing games and brilliant piss-ups as well. This was my very first Keitai, J-phone Keitai, and its cover, which was kidnapped by some ALTs and held ransom for a few months. I got lots of worrying photographs through my post box at that time. This is the map that we were given on our very, very first time in Takaoka. It's got lots of bars that we frequented, too many to really name actually. And then of course copies of the tram as well. No social media back then. However, we did use the tram to sort of learn all the goss that was going around the prefecture. Actually, the Toyama ALTs had a bit of a panic on their first day because the tram that we got, the copy that we got on our first day, had an article about the plans to demolish Sunshine 88, so well done Matt on terrifying some of my fellow ALTs back then. If you are ever up in Scotland, please do feel free to give me a shout. We'll have a sofa or bed for you to stay on, show you around the city as well.
Hi everyone, this is Alistair. I was in Takaoka between 2001 and 2002, so 19 years ago. Wow. No, it was the best time ever, wasn't it? And I still look back on that year as probably the most fun. And still in touch with a lot of the friends I made during that time. What have I done since? I don't know really. I became a lawyer. I got married to Shona, who is amazing. We've got 3 children, Charlotte, MD and Stan, who are aged 10, 8 and 3, which means they're closer in age to the age I was when I went to Japan than I am, which makes me feel very old. So there you go. I hope everyone's doing really well. Be lovely to hear from you and stay safe. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Andy Atwell.
And I'm Karina Atwell, but in Japan I was Karina Merchant.
We worked in Toyama Ken in 2001. I worked at Tanami Konyo Koko and also Oyabe Enge Koko.
And I worked and lived in Tairamura, Taira Village, so I taught in the 3 schools there for 2 years.
My favourite things about Japan, I love just spending time in Tanami, cycling around and eating in the local cafes. I also spent a lot of time in Takaoka with friends, and it was okay, I guess, meeting Karina.
I don't know what to say to that.
What's your favourite thing about Japan?
I think my favourite thing was being able to travel at the weekends when we got holidays to see other parts of Japan, but also the festivals I loved with the women in the yukatas and the lanterns and all the street food and everything. Probably meeting Andy's not really.
Not a highlight.
Not on the list.
No,
not
good,
on the list,
excellent.
Yes.
We got married in 2005 and we have 3 kids, and we now live and work in Aberdeen. I work in law.
And I work in education.
And we haven't been back to Japan since we left, but I really would love us to go back at some stage, maybe when the kids are a bit older, and enjoy some Japanese food and do some sightseeing. But I really would love to go back to Toyama Ken and see how everyone's doing and how it's all changed and so on. And that's us. So we'll say see you later.
Bye.
Hi everyone, it's Jen Hall. If you don't remember, I lived in Toyama-shi in the infamous Sunshine Hachiju-hachi, and I taught at Yuho Koko. I was also one of the prefectural advisors. Since leaving Japan, I returned to Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, and I basically entered a career in the public service. I've done a number of different things. I worked at the University of Regina in admissions and the language lab and a bunch of different things. And then moved over to government and did some stuff there. You know, stuff and things and joyous, wonderful, multifaceted, wondrous things. And now I have found myself at Ombudsman, Saskatchewan as an investigator. And it's really interesting work where I get to do a number of different types of investigations. I've done reviews on uses of restraints to whether or not it was fair to our public insurance to deny a claim. So it's fascinating stuff. And anyways, other than that, she has disappeared somewhere. She's usually right beside me, but I adopted a dog in March of 2018, and her name is Georgie. If you follow me on any of the social media sites, you all know who she is. Because as one of my friends have said, my dog can't fart without me posting about it. I bought a house in January of 2019. So that's exciting, but I question my sanity sometimes. Also in 2019, in November, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I should probably just start saying MS because it's recognized by pretty much everyone. I knew that day was probably coming because it had been a 7-year journey for me. I still struggle with the diagnosis a little bit. Sorry. But I'm learning to live with it. That said, I am very grateful for the time I spent in Japan and that I got to meet every single one of you guys. And then I got to do all of that traveling. And got to see so much of the world and got to learn so much about myself and that culture. And, you know, when I was thinking about making this video, I was reflecting back and I was thinking about what I miss the most. And I think one of the things I do miss the most is the people and every single one of you. And I told myself I wasn't going to cry. And guess what? I did. So, anyways, I hope you are all well and enjoying your little corners of the world. And I cannot wait till all this crazy virus stuff ends and that I can finally leave my house. And that we can all get together and do a great big campai together. Again, I hope you're all well and can't wait to see you all in person and give you each a great big hug. Take care.
Hi everyone, I'm John Shaw. I was in Toyama in Shogawa, just outside of Tonami, for 2 years between 2000 and 2002. I guess I kind of liked it in Japan because I'm still here living in Tokyo with my family. I left for a couple years after 2002, finishing on the JET program, went to Australia for a bit and moved back in 2004 and living in Tokyo ever since. So this is our house in the background here and where we live with my wife, who is from Toyama. She's a little bit shy, so she wasn't too happy to be filmed for the video, but with my wife. And 2 kids and a dog.
Hello, my name is Yuan and I'm almost 10 years old and I like my dog. My name is Ayoli and I'm 11 years old.
And this is Sangajaya, where we live in Tokyo, just outside of Shibuya.
Hi everyone, my name is Garrett Verderber. I lived in Toyama City, right next to the Higashi Toyama Station, and I taught at Koho High School from 2000 to 2001. I'm going to talk really fast because I feel like I have a lot to say. I then came back to Minneapolis and worked at Minneapolis Public Schools as a substitute teacher, which was consistently worse than teaching in Japan. I then became a Unitarian Universalist Youth Ministries coordinator. I then worked as an electrician for a while. I then went on to build prototype electrical vehicles for a while. Then I ran a plug-in hybrid conversion company for a little while. And then when that tanked, I decided I wanted to be a fitness and acro yoga instructor, so I did that for a while. And then I had kids, and then I became more of a strength and conditioning coach, which I still do today. And I currently am locked down with my wife and 2 kids in our house. We've been sort of heavily quarantining for about 3 months, and we live 5 blocks from where George Floyd was murdered. So it's been a pretty intense little time here. How life in Japan influenced me. I think it really started me on my path of teaching, and I've sort of stuck with that. I wouldn't probably have become a teacher if I hadn't gotten that exposure. I got really comfortable with being around a variety of people and communicating in very specific ways, and I mostly paid off my student loans, which was pretty amazing. Favorite things about Japan, there's just so many. I love the hiking, the being able to be in nature. The city was cool, but the areas around it were really amazing. I love going to Nagano for snowboarding. I love the hitchhiking that I was able to do. It was a really safe and fun place to hitchhike, and I just got to meet so many people. I loved going to Sado Island, Sadogashima. Just randomly went there for that drum festival within like the first month that I was there, and that was amazing. I love the Kurobe Gorge. That was so beautiful. It's one of my like favorite places I've ever been in the world. I'd go back there. I really loved getting to meet fellow Jets, and getting together with fellow Jets was really fun. All the like whining and dining that the Toyama Ken did for us was amazing. And it was really fun to be able to like see my own culture being in a place that had such a different culture. I loved meeting all the Brits. That was fun. And I really loved the students. They were so earnest and interesting, even though the school I taught at was like the last stop before technical school. And so most of the kids weren't that interested, but a lot of them were really earnest about wanting to be my friend, and some of them were even pretty earnest about wanting to learn English. But really, let's be honest, the food, getting to travel around and try other weird food and just delicious food everywhere. I love Japanese food. And number one, the onsen for sure. Just being able to go anywhere and like have a amazing hot tub onsen experience, and like also just seeing all the variety of different onsen everywhere you went was amazing. So that's it. I look forward to seeing what everyone else says about Japan, and it's really fun to like go onto Google Maps and sort of like try to remember all the places that I used to go and stuff. So I'd spend hours doing that on occasion.
everyone. My name is Sandra. I'm assuming everyone knows me, but in case anyone doesn't know me, my name is Sandra. When I lived in Japan, I would have been Sandra Tierney. I'm now Sandra Brady. I was in Toyama Ken. I lived in Shimookui from September 2000 to around about October 2002. I wasn't a jet, maybe an honorary jet. I did tend to turn up at most jet outings at some stage. So I lived in Toyama Ken during that time. I worked for Toyama Kagaku, Toyama Chemical. Alongside Helen was there at the time, Helen Lavin. She would have been known as, she's now Helen Scotch. And another guy called Michael, who was also from Ireland. And yeah, I guess even though I wasn't a jet, my time did overlap a lot with, you know, some of you guys who were out there as well at the same time. So Matt, obviously, Hannah, Chris, Catherine, Jen, Julie, Emma, Connor. Geez, I'm just trying to think who else. Liz Hollanders was there. Jenny, Beth. Who else? Oh, Sarah. Oh my God, I'm really stretching my brain now. My God, yeah. There was, yeah, I can think of faces. Molly. Anyway, look, if I've forgotten you, I'm so sorry. There was a lot of people. There was a lot of fun times had. What I've done since with myself, I suppose. Yeah, so I've pretty much, yeah, I've been in good contact with Helen since coming back. In fact, I've kind of worked at a close distance to Helen, pretty much from leaving Japan to coming back to Ireland, up until 3 years ago, when I took a career break. So, yeah, that's kind of like, I suppose it's been interesting that like the person that I met right at the start of my career has kind of like been part of my career the whole way along, right up until very recently, you know. So I guess Japan was really kind of instrumental, I suppose, in kind of like where and where I've gone since then, I suppose, you know. Some of the fond memories I have of Japan, geez, like it's hard to, it's even thinking back, it's just like Ballsbar features, of course, you know. I always think back and I just think, oh my God, how did I drink Kahlua and milk? Hannah, I don't know if you remember Kahlua and milk, Kahlua to milku. How the hell did we drink that stuff? Nomi Hoda is Jesus Christ. So glad there was no like Facebook or people with video cameras, video phones, and, you know, recording all the shenanigans back then. Jesus. Other fond memories, just hanging out in like sunshine, Hachi, you know. Definitely one of the things that comes back to me is like cycling between my place and Sunshine Hachi on my bike. Didn't drive back then. You might remember me as the one who was always probably bumming a lift somewhere. Don't know how I managed to get around, but I did somehow or another. Yeah, and like, do you know, just karaoke and snowboarding, trips to Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto. Just trying to think back on, you know, it's mad really, like thinking back that we were all just babes back then, really, weren't we? Just like kind of, I mean, young, like, you know, just like kind of in our 20s, just like in such a crazy country, really, when you think about it, like in such a different culture. And it's definitely really sort of like, like living in Japan, it just, I guess I was kind of gone down the science route, you know, kind of like through school and college and everything like that. But living in Japan, it really did ignite like this love of language and just kind of this love of other cultures and other countries, and just kind of just, you know, being fascinated with like people and sort of, I don't know, just like kind of what we all grow up with around us and what we believe is like normal, and then you kind of throw yourself into this other culture, other world almost when you're that young, and it's just, it's mad. And of course it's gonna like just, you know, it's definitely gonna shape the rest of your life in some way, and it definitely has mine. Have to mention Caesarea with Hannah. Sorry, I have some notes here. Like, obviously I had to make some notes of different things that I remember. One of my first memories is like just hanging out with Hannah when I got to Japan first, and like, you know, going for like early bird dinners with Hannah after work, carafes of wine, cycling home, and like being up for work the next morning, grand, no bother. I suppose it's what you can do in your 20s. Monthly mass with Matt, I've written here as well. Matt, I don't know, do you remember monthly mass when you used to come to Toyama? And we'd go to mass, and then we would always go for beers afterwards, and talk about all sorts. I always remember that monthly mass, and just like having a good old catch up and a good chat afterwards. That was great. I've got onsens written down here. You know, it's such a funny one, but like, as in, who would ever think that, like, as in, one of your fondest memories would be getting naked with your friend on a Sunday? Catherine, you know I'm talking about you, right? So funny. But I do. I think it's so, like, as in, onsens were amazing. They were such a laugh. There was such good fun, and just such a lovely way to like spend time and hang out and just like relax. You know, it was great. It was really, really great. Couldn't imagine doing it with somebody nicer. But yeah, I suppose, like, yeah, kind of like, just what else have I been doing since I got married. Some of you guys came to my wedding, which is great to see you all. I married a guy called Derek who I met in work, and we worked together for years. Like, I don't know how we did it actually. We worked together for years and years and years. Actually, we worked together, we got married, then we had Noah, who's 10 now, then we had Ali, and while I was on maternity leave with Ali, we actually started to look into, and eventually we did move to California to work in a startup in the Bay Area for a couple of years, and then that was in 2013. Then we came back in 2015, back to our old jobs in Galway. Where we're living now is in the west of Ireland. In Galway, I work in the medical device sector, which is kind of different to pharmaceutical, where I started out. But then in 2017, I had another kid, another boy. And after my maternity leave, I took a career break. So he just turned 3, like 2 weeks ago. So I'm still technically on career break, meant to go back to work in January. Who knows what's going to happen? Let's see what happens when January comes around. But I'm enjoying my career break. I'm enjoying the time with the kids. It's been crazy with COVID and everything like that. I don't know how the rest of you guys are doing, but hopefully you're all safe. Hopefully you're all enjoying life, and it's a shame that we didn't get a chance to meet up this year, but I'm wishing you all the best from the west of Ireland, and hopefully I'll see you soon. And thanks to Matt, of course, Matt. I was cursing you earlier asking me to do this video, but thank you so much for actually asking us all to do this video, because it will be great, and I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Marie Riley. When I was in Japan, it was Marie Belfour. I was the jet at Takoka Ryukoku High School from 2000 to 2003, and I am currently living in upstate New York in Albany, about 3 hours north of New York City, and about 20 minutes away from where I grew up as a child. When I was in Japan, most of you will remember that I did judo pretty much nonstop with both my high school judo team as well as the local martial arts gym, which afforded me a lot of opportunity to do a lot of traveling within Japan with my students. When I first got back to the United States in 2003, I actually was able to participate in the 2003 US Open for judo. I did not do well, but it's definitely an experience that would not have happened if not for my time in Japan. Now, I live and work in upstate New York, like I said. My husband of almost 10 years,
Hello, everybody.
Steve, is here next to me. The kids are in bed. We have a 4-year-old daughter and a almost 6-year-old son, as well as 3 older stepkids who come and visit us and spoil the little ones rotten. Some of you will remember that our 4-year-old Fiona was born 3 months early in 2014, and I will never forget the kindness and just goodwill and love that many of you reached out and sent care packages and things like that during a really difficult time. So just further proof to me that the lifelong friendships I made while I was in Japan really they'll never go away. I consider myself so very lucky to have the friends that I made while I was in Japan still be a part of my life now. Try to keep in touch with as many as possible. Still send 40 plus nengajo every year to Japan. Baby care packages to my students who are now adults and with children of their own. I always tell people living in Japan probably for those 3 years, probably one of the defining periods of my entire life, and wouldn't trade it for anything. Matt, thanks for putting this together, and thanks for the opportunity to say hi and catch everybody else up. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Hello, I'm Emma Baker. I was Emma Connolly in 2001 when I started JET. I lived in Osawa no Machi, south of Toyama City, and I was an ALT at Osawa no Kogyo Koko, which it's now closed, a technical high school. And there were just 2 ALTs in Osawa no at that time, and the other one was Matt Poynton. And it's mostly Matt's fault that I've developed a long-term addiction to onsen. I stayed in Japan until 2003, and then I returned to England, where I worked at Durham University teaching English to Japanese undergraduates. After that, I qualified as a ballet teacher, and since then I've been teaching ballet and writing mostly music journalism. I got married to Matthew, and we have a son, Bertie, and a dog, and we currently live in Sweden. For me, the best of Japan was absolutely the friendships that I made, both with other ALTs and with local Japanese people, and a number of those relationships are now passing on to the next generation, with our children getting to know each other and becoming friends. Of course, I also have to mention Japanese clothes and fashion. And that was probably the biggest drain on my finances as a jet, and also during my most recent trip there in 2018.
My name is Masami. In the year 2000, I was working in Osawano town office and I supported ALTs working at the Osawano Junior High School and the Osawano Elementary School. From 2000 to 2002, Matt Poynton was my ALT contact. I remember the first day Matt and me went to the shopping to buy everyday items. I also met other people on the JET program at the time. Emma, Julian, Liz, in 2003. JET programs has brought friendship and the opportunities to travel for my family. We have been to Brunei Island and England to spend time with ALT friends and their family. I'm married to Toshiki with 2 children. Son is a high school student and the daughter is Osawano Junior High School student. We live in Osawano and I recently moved from Toyama City office back to Osawano office. I work with Mariko, who has been a great friend to many JET.
ママとパパお兄さんお姉さんおじいちゃんおばあちゃんお隣さん
Hi, my name is Maggie. I lived in Toyama, Ken from 2000 till 2002 in Uozushi. I was teaching at the 2 middle schools there, east and west. And yeah, since Japan, I went back to the US. I went back to school in Colorado and I studied nutrition. And then I worked for about 7 years in Indianapolis as a pediatric dietitian and became a lactation consultant as well. And then we moved to Berlin, Germany, where we've been living for 9 years. And I have my own business here, Tao Nutrition, working as an independent lactation consultant and nutritionist. And I also enjoy teaching ballet and teaching swimming lessons. What I loved the most about Japan was how much we traveled and the culture that we got to know. We always talk about how great the food was in Uozushi, how awesome the water was, and how close I lived to the sea and the mountains. So I tell everybody about Uozu and how we want to visit there. And Japan impacting my life, I guess I gained a lot of English teaching experience there, which has gone into other realms of teaching, such as teaching swimming and ballet and teaching about nutrition.
And I am Jim Tao. Maggie's name was Doherty when we were in Japan. We met there in Uozu in 2000. I stayed for just the first year of those 2. Then I went to work for Rolls-Royce in the UK as an aerospace engineer. And I've been doing that for quite a long time now because I'm still with Rolls-Royce. I moved out to America and we got married out in Colorado and I worked in Indianapolis. We were there for 7 years where our 2 beautiful girls were born. I went to Purdue University and did a master's while we were living there and working. And then, we moved to Rolls-Royce Deutschland here in Berlin, where it's been about 9 years now. Japan's, it's hard to know how it's influenced my life specifically because it's just infused in everything that we do. I mean, we met there and I do still absolutely love to eat Japanese food. I'm looking forward to taking the girls to Japan to see the place that we lived when we met. And did I miss anything?
Monkeys
pooping in the onsen.
Yeah,
tubs.
I think we missed the monkeys and the hiking in the mountains in Toyama-ken and skiing in Niigata and the onsens. We missed the onsens for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
ありとないこと好きなことできっこないことやってみたいこと思えば何でもできるもんどんだけ気分は素敵にすぐそばどこでもキャンディーワンダーラン
Okay, I keep hitting the button. There it goes. All right.
Hi, from
Hi.
Hi from Hemi.
Hi, the Hemi crew from 2000.
A few more wrinkles. A little bit older. and
less hair?
No, everyone looks the same. I'm Susan, ALT, and got some others on the line.
To Ensor at the time, CIR in Hemi for 2 years.
I'm Simon Hodge, and I was an ALT from 98 to 2001.
I'm David Acevedo. I was an ALT in Hemi from 1998 to 2001 too.
Gina Compagnaro, I was an ALT in Hemi from 2000 to 2003.
Hello, I'm Alejandra Quintero, ALT from Los Angeles. I was at Hemi Coco from 2000 to 2001.
Brilliant.
Hello, fellow Jets. Happy 20th anniversary. For those that can't recognize my once beautiful face because it's been ravaged by the cruel mistresses known as time, alcohol, and parenthood, my name is Ammon Hammettbreger. If the name doesn't ring a bell, it's because in Japan I was known as Jonathan Ammon Hammettbreger Garcia Della Torre Poynton. The last 20 years have been filled with travel, international moves, and a few of life's turning points. I've had a couple of kids that I know of. Ethan 8, Amelia 6, soon to be 16. I say soon, in 10 years time, because that's how math works. 10 years ago, I married the love of my life, Sarah. She's a jet. Just to be clear, when I say she's a jet, I mean she's an airplane. I married an airplane. My wife and our half-human, half-aircraft children and I live in Maidenhead, England. It's about as exciting as it sounds. I'm a teacher at an international school in London. My wife, Sarah, is a teacher here in Maidenhead, an elementary school teacher. My time in Japan has framed my life in so many ways. I met Sarah on the program. I met you guys, some of my very best friends. And it increased my tolerance for alcohol at least 12-fold. I hope you all are happy and as healthy as could be. And if you'll indulge me, I'll leave you guys with a Japanese phrase. Because if you're like me, Japanese has been locked away somewhere in my brain that's hard to access. The phrase is Nihongo o wasareta, which means I've forgotten how to speak Japanese, or at least that's what I think it means, because I've forgotten how to speak Japanese. Yamashita Sensei would be so proud. Anyways, lots of love to you people. Bye.
Oh, hello. I hope you enjoyed that trip down memory lane just as much as I did. Well, I have to say, watching that video certainly reminded me of some things that I'd forgotten. Such as the fact that Ammon Hammettbreger has an amazing ass. I was really disappointed he was sitting down when he made that video. Anyway, thanks to everybody that contributed to the Toyama Jet 20-year reunion video. The response was far, far more than I ever expected it to be, and some of those videos were absolutely amazing. And it's really cool to see how people have got on and what you've been doing with your lives and how we've all done, I think, really different things. So I'd like to thank everybody that did contribute, but also if you didn't and you're thinking, oh, I wish I'd have sent in a video, what I can say is send me one in, and then maybe in a year's time I'll do an updated version, hopefully with more videos in it. In the meantime though, thanks to everyone. Thank you so much. If you've enjoyed it half as much as I've enjoyed making it, then it's all been worthwhile. So, mata ne!
Machine.
上を向いて歩こう涙がこぼれないように思い出す春の日一人ぼっちの夜上を向いて歩こう滲んだ星を数えて思い出す夏の日一人ぼっちの夜幸せは雲の上に幸せは空の上に上を向いて歩こう涙がこぼれないように泣きながら歩く一人ぼっちの夜思い出す秋の日一人ぼっちの夜悲しみは星の影に悲しみは月の影に上を向いて歩こう涙がこぼれないように泣きながら歩く一人ぼっちの夜一人ぼっちの夜